I went camping with my friends. Something is really wrong. 3 years ago, my friends and I decided we would all go on a fun camping trip for the weekend. Like most friend groups, we had a group chat where we discussed plans and other random topics. Typically, our plans were made last minute. Somehow, planning ahead never worked out for any of us. Ironically, the more spontaneous the plan, the more likely it was to actually happen. So you can imagine my surprise when we managed to plan a camping trip in advance and it actually worked out. All of our parents said yes and no one had any games or school commitments to worry about. We scheduled the trip for a Friday evening, planning to spend the whole weekend outdoors. When Friday finally came, we were all excited. Some of my friends brought tents and fire starting gear while others packed safety equipment, just in case. The only downside? We had to hike a trail to reach the campsite. I had work that night, so I was the last one to start the hike. I got off at 8:30 p.m. and made it to the trailhead by 8:50. The hike would take an hour at most. Keep in mind, I lived in Colorado, so wildlife was always something I had to watch out for. But little did I know, wildlife would end up being the least of my concerns. As I started along the trail, my mind began to race. I'd always been someone who overthought everything. My thoughts spiraled. What if a bear comes out and eats me? What if my blood sugar drops and we're out of snacks? What if someone is stalking me from behind the trees? Eventually, those thoughts faded, and I found myself more focused on the music playing through my headphones. As I kept walking, I realized my blood sugar was actually starting to drop. I stopped for a quick snack break and sat down to rest. I've been a type 1 diabetic since birth, ever since I was 18 months old. When my pancreas decided to retire early, my life has revolved around managing sugar intake. All that really did was turn me into a sneaky kid who constantly found ways to sneak sweets. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be normal. But then again, this is my normal. I don't have a single memory of life without diabetes. If anything, not having it would feel abnormal to me. Maybe I wouldn't be the punching bag of the group if I didn't have it. Maybe my mom wouldn't carry so much guilt over it. Either way, there's not much I can do. It's just the shitty hand I was dealt. Once my blood sugar was back at a reasonable level, I stood up and continued down the trail. But after a few minutes, I stopped. My surroundings felt off, uncomfortably unfamiliar. I looked at the map I was using and realized I'd taken a wrong turn. I had been walking in the wrong direction for nearly the entire hour this hike was supposed to take. A chill crept through me. It felt like freezing water was being pumped through my veins. My mouth went dry and my heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my head. Fuck. Okay, this isn't a big deal, I muttered to myself, trying to stay calm. I just walked back until I reached the point where I went off course, then take the right path. But deep down I was panicking and I didn't even know why. It wasn't just that I was lost. Something about that one wrong turn felt wrong in a way I couldn't explain. Like it had set something in motion. As I retraced my steps, a strange paranoia crept over me. I started walking more quietly. I pulled out my headphones and tried to suppress every sound I made, moving quickly but silently, like something might be listening. As I started walking, I began to notice something strange. Why are there two sets of footsteps? I wasn't imagining it, I could clearly hear it. It wasn't subtle. Every time I took a step, something else did too. But it wasn't just that something was walking behind me. No, it was that every footstep it took was perfectly synchronized with mine. Not just the timing, the sound was identical. The only reason I even noticed it was because of a slight delay, just a fraction of a second. I know that doesn't make much sense. If it stepped when I stepped, the sound should have blended perfectly, but it didn't. I could hear the echo of it, like a mirrored version of my own movement, just a half beat behind. I started counting each of my steps, and each of the ones I heard. It wasn't the idea that someone might be there that scared the shit out of me. No, it was the realization that something was there, copying me, perfectly. That's not something a person can do. No human can replicate another person's footsteps exactly. Not down to the sound, weight, and rhythm with 100% accuracy. Most people, when they think they're being followed, will call out, ask, "Who's there?" Or maybe even run. They'll make it obvious that they know. I wasn't going to do that. I decided to play it smart, act clueless. The plan was simple. Keep calm, walk like everything was fine, and the moment I reached the parking lot, run to my car, lock the doors, and get the hell out of there. I started texting my friends about what was happening. None of them took it seriously at first. One of them even joked, "Record it." So I did. Surprisingly, the recording made it clearer. You could hear it, the sound of multiple footsteps, perfectly synchronized but with that strange delay. The second they heard it, the tone shifted. Suddenly they were asking real questions. "Where are you? How close are you to the campsite?" I told them my plan. Then I shut off my phone. I wanted to seem unaware but not vulnerable. That's when I think it started to get impatient. The footsteps weren't perfectly in sync anymore. They were slipping, getting sloppy. Now anyone could have heard it. It wasn't subtle anymore. At first I couldn't figure out why it was giving up the illusion. Then it hit me. It wants me to know it's there. Now I had two options. Stick to the plan and keep walking, or abandon it and run in a different direction. Option 2 became the obvious choice real fast. The footsteps started to charge. I don't even have words for how fast they moved. Unreal, like something out of a nightmare. But the worst part? They weren't behind me. They were in front of me. This entire fucking time I had been walking toward it. I never saw it. It was too dark. But I heard it, running straight at me with that impossible inhuman speed. And that's when the real fear hit me. I can't even begin to describe the fear I felt. It wasn't just the kind that makes your heart race. This was deeper, primal. My chest tightened so hard it felt like my ribs were closing in on my lungs. My heartbeat wasn't just pounding, it was slamming, like it was trying to break free from my chest. Every beat hurt. My skin went cold and clammy, like all the warmth in my body had been sucked out through my face. It felt hollow, like my skull was trying to collapse in on itself. My mouth was so dry it felt like sandpaper, like I hadn't had water in days. Even my thoughts weren't normal. They didn't come in words anymore, just sharp flashes of panic, like alarm bells going off in a language I didn't understand. This wasn't just fear. This was my body reacting like it knew something was wrong, something it couldn't see but felt. I bolted off the trail and into the woods. There was no way I could outrun this thing in a straight line. Whatever it was too fast. I ducked between trees and ran in every direction I could, desperate to break its line of sight. I don't know how long I ran, minutes, hours. My lungs were on fire, every breath a knife in my chest. I finally stopped when I realized the footsteps were gone, but so was the trail. I had run so far, turned so many times I couldn't tell where I came from. And to make things worse, it was dark. Not just can't read my phone dark, I mean pitch black. I couldn't even see 2 feet in front of me. I reached for my flashlight. Just as my fingers brushed the switch, something stopped me. Not a feeling, an instinct. It was deeper than thought, something primal, ancient. A survival reflex that didn't feel like it came from me. Then I heard it. A voice in my head. One I wasn't in control of. Don't. I froze. I don't know why, but I knew if I turned on that flashlight, I'd die. Move, it said. So I did. I walked forward straight ahead for what felt like minutes, hands out, blind. Stop. I obeyed. My body wasn't mine anymore. I was just following orders. Silence. Then the voice returned. Louder this time. HIDE. My stomach dropped. Hide? What the fuck do you mean? I couldn't see anything. How was I supposed to hide in a forest I couldn't even see? HIDE. The voice repeated sharper, more urgent. And that's when I knew whatever had been chasing me. It wasn't done yet. It was close. My gut was right. I heard footsteps again. I dropped to the ground and pressed myself behind the largest tree I could find, heart hammering, breath shallow. I didn't move, didn't blink. A horrible thought crept into my mind. What if it's a Wendigo or a skinwalker? It didn't seem that far-fetched. I do live in Colorado. The idea only made the crushing sense of dread worse. I heard it begin to circle. Its steps were slow, deliberate, like it knew. RUN? The voice in my head, loud, sudden, panicked. It caught me off guard. I barely had time to register what it said before I heard it, the footsteps charging straight toward me. It found me. I ran. I zigzagged wildly, cutting through trees, not caring which direction I went, just moving fast and erratic. I ran until my legs burned and my lungs begged for air. Then I stopped. I collapsed to the ground, crouched behind a thick brush, too exhausted to go any further. I could only pray I had lost it, that maybe, just maybe, it gave up. That's when I heard it. An ear-piercing scream ripping through the silence of the woods. It came from behind me, close but somehow distant, like it echoed from somewhere it shouldn't have been. I froze, paralyzed by fear, waiting for the voice, the real voice, to guide me. And then I heard something else. James? Holy shit, James, is that you? Eric. It was Eric's voice. My friend. Every ounce of fear drained from my body in an instant. Relief flooded through me. I was about to jump up, call out to him, but then the voice returned. D-O-N-T. Why did it say that? I listened anyway, and within seconds I realized why. It was there, looking for me. That didn't make sense. I had just heard the scream behind me, not even seconds ago. And now, Eric's voice. But it wasn't him. None of it made sense. Before I could spiral any deeper, something pulled me back to the present, something far worse. I could see it now. And this wasn't a Wendigo. It wasn't a skinwalker. It wasn't anything I could recognize. It was tall. No, inhumanly tall. Its limbs stretched so far they nearly touched the ground, and its fingers dragged through the dirt with each movement. The nails, God, the nails. They were long, jagged, soaked in something dark. Blood, maybe. And they weren't just sharp. They looked designed to tear through flesh. But the worst part? I couldn't even see its face. It was so tall, its upper half disappeared into the tree canopy. Its torso was skeletal, thin, bony, and its skin had the texture and color of bark, almost perfectly camouflaged in the night. I began to inch away, slow and silent, but then, snap, a twig underfoot. It heard it. No, it reacted to it, instantly. It didn't turn like a person, it didn't move naturally. Its entire body stopped, frozen mid-step, and then, just its neck turned. Long, so disturbingly long. It peered down at me. The rest of its body didn't move, only the neck, twisting at an unnatural angle. I didn't wait. I didn't want to see its face. I ran. The voice screamed in my head again, this time with pure, urgent panic. Run! The footsteps came fast, too fast. They didn't sound like running. They sounded like something charging through the woods, tearing through branches, eating the distance between us like nothing. It roared. But the sound, it wasn't the scream I heard earlier. This time the voice in my head started shouting commands. Left, right, faster, slower. I followed them blindly. My feet pounded the ground, lungs burning, vision blurring. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I had to keep moving. Then, stop. I collapsed behind a fallen log, gasping, body trembling. And for the first time I realized it was gone. Somehow the thing was no longer chasing me. Quiet, the voice whispered. I obeyed. Not a sound. Not a breath too loud. Then another word. Snack. And that's when I understood. My blood sugar. The running. The fear. The adrenaline. It had drained me completely. I was crashing, and if I didn't eat something soon, I wasn't going to survive, even if the monster didn't get to me first. I pulled out a candy bar and began eating as quietly as possible. It had been a good 15 minutes. The voice had gone silent, and everything around me was dead quiet. Not peaceful. Not still. Just wrong. I tried to reassure myself that I was going to make it out alive, but no matter what I told myself, I couldn't shake the feeling. I couldn't calm down, because in my gut I knew this only ended one way. Listen. The voice returned, cutting through the silence like a blade. I listened, and then I heard it. James. The voice was uncanny. Have you ever watched the Mandela Catalog? It sounded exactly like that. Like a warped imitation of a real voice, stretched and hollow, echoing from something that wasn't human and never had been. Turn around. I turned, and standing there was a humanoid figure. But it wasn't human. Its left arm was half missing, torn away, bone exposed. The rest of its body looked decayed, rotting like a corpse left out too long, and its proportions, off. Some of its limbs were too long, others grotesquely swollen or twisted. Its smile glowed faintly in the darkness, so wide it had torn the skin around its mouth. Blood still clung to the shredded flesh, and I could see inside. Ropes of dark, stringy blood stretched between jagged teeth like it had just chugged a gallon of blood. It didn't speak again. It just stared. Then in one motion it dropped to all fours, and screamed. A high-pitched, bone-shattering shriek, inhuman, violent. Then it charged. I didn't even get the chance to run. It was too fast. It grabbed me. And then, nothing. Just the sound of flesh tearing. Pain. Then, darkness. I woke up in agony. Every inch of my body hurt. The first thing I noticed was the light. Broad daylight pouring in from behind me. I was lying at the entrance of a cave. Next to me was a pile of bones. Definitely human. In front of me, nothing but pitch blackness. The cave stretched deeper than I could see. I didn't have time to process anything before I heard it again. That thing, it was already chasing me. Back on all fours, just like before. But this time there was distance between us. I had a head start. I pushed myself to my feet, ignoring the pain, and ran. Faster than I ever have in my life. It screamed again. A horrible, piercing scream that ripped through the air. It was so loud I thought my eardrums would burst. But then, I noticed something. The scream wasn't behind me. It sounded like it came from in front of me, and I didn't look. I just kept running, my feet pounding the trail until somehow I made it back. Back to the parking lot. Back to my car, and the police were already there. They rushed me, took me in. I was barely conscious by that point. I hadn't realized just how messed up I really was. The thing had bitten a chunk out of my shoulder. Deep, ragged scratches tore across my back. Some of the wounds were already infected. They asked me what happened. I lied. What was I supposed to say? The truth? That a monster in the woods stalked me for a week and left me to die in a cave full of bones? They'd have locked me in a padded room. But as they questioned me, I learned something that chilled me deeper than anything else had. I had been missing for a week. A whole fucking week. And somehow I survived. Which made no sense. I didn't have my backpack. My insulin was gone. My pump was missing. There's no way I could have gone a week without it. No way I could have gone that long without water. Yet, I did, somehow. Recovery was long and hard. Therapy was even worse. Eventually, I told the truth. The therapist gave me the usual canned response. Trauma interferes with our memory. Yeah, I know what I saw. She made me talk about it a lot. And that's when I started putting the pieces together. The screams. The voice in my head. What I thought was a guide. It wasn't guiding me out, it was leading me deeper. There weren't just one of those things, there were two. Every time I heard that scream, every time I thought it was in front of me, it was actually right behind me. They played with my perception, bent my senses, used sound and hope to trap me. They weren't hunting me for the kill. They were playing with me. And I think that's the part that breaks me the most. They kept me alive on purpose. They let me wake up. Again and again. I wasn't unconscious for a week. I wasn't asleep that whole time. I kept waking up. But every time I opened my eyes, it was night. Every time I'd forget what happened the time before. And every time the chase would begin again. Sometimes I'd run. Sometimes I'd hide. Sometimes I'd hear a loved one's voice calling out to me. Eric, my mom. But they weren't real. The second creature, whatever it was, it mimicked them. Used their voices, their faces. It gave me hope just long enough to lead me into the jaws of the other. Every night the game reset, and every time I lost. I know this now because the memories are coming back, slowly, in flashes, in dreams. I wasn't asleep for a week. I woke up 7 times, 7 nights, 7 rounds of fear, pain, and false hope. I even went into the cave, the same one it always came out of. I think I lived in it for some of those nights. The memories are still blurry, but here's what haunts me the most. Why was the last time different? Why did I wake up in daylight? Why was that the only time I made it out? I ran 10 minutes from the cave to the trail. That's far, but not far enough to explain why the pattern broke. It doesn't make sense, and maybe it's not supposed to. Some things are random for a reason. Some horrors don't follow rules. This is just what I remember, my perspective. But I know one thing for sure, it's over now, and I'm never going camping again. No, fuck that. I am never going near the woods again.